USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
I was not happy with it.
President Trump saying he disagrees with sentiment expressed by a crowd at his rally in North Carolina on Wednesday night when it came to one of the 4 Democratic women of color in Congress who he's been having a feud with of late.
But again, I didn't say that. They did.
The crowd had been referring to Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Yesterday at that photo op, the president did still say that she and the 3 other congresswomen have said, quote, horrible things about the country. Convicted sex offender and billionaire Jeffrey Epstein staying behind bars for now after he was denied bail yesterday as he awaits trial on new charges in New York concerning allegations he had sex with dozens of underage women. The president wants the son of late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia to be the next labor secretary, and this is USA Radio News. Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky is answering harsh criticism he's been getting after he tried to put up a stumbling block in front of the passage of the 9/11 Victims' Compensation Bill, saying he wanted it fully debated because it has an impact on America's finances.
What you would do if you're responsible is you'd allocate it for 3, 4, 5 years and come back and reassess it. That's a responsible way to budget. But to have an open-ended thing that goes to 2092, really? It doesn't matter how good the cause is. It's irresponsible.
Paul speaking there on Fox News. Despite his efforts, a vote on the bill is expected to happen this upcoming Tuesday. If the president signs it, it means the fund will be fully funded through 2090. A dangerously hot weekend coming up for most of the nation. As forecasters say, temperatures will hit 100 or higher in about 2/3 of the country from the western plains to the east coast. And this is USA Radio News. Yesterday was a second day of protests by supporters of Eric Garner in New York City, 5 years after the African-American man's death, after he was put in a chokehold by a white police officer, leading apparently to Garner's death by an asthma attack. Protesters have promised 11 days of demonstrations after the Department of Justice ruled this week that no civil charges would be filed against the officer who put him in that chokehold. One of Garner's relatives saying during a protest yesterday,
"It wasn't only people that look like me, it was everyone, and that's the way that it should be."
Delta Airlines will soon have doses of Narcan included in the emergency medical kits on board all of its aircraft. The emergency medication used to reverse opioid overdoses now being added after a passenger on a recent Delta flight tweeted that a man died, saying afterwards other passengers and even a doctor were unable to save him because the antidote was not available. Delta says the medication will now be available by this fall. So far, United, Frontier, and Alaska Airlines, and now, soon, Delta, will have added the life-saving medication to their fleet of aircraft. And organizers of Woodstock 50 have reapplied to try to hold the festival at a site in New York State after a town planning board rejected their appeal for a permit a few days ago. And for USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.